morning, this is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com, and tonight I'm reviewing a gap. This was today, January 8th. It was a gap down on Yum. And I have to tell you that this gap on the day, for the day, the way that it traded on the day, failed. Now, that being said, guess what? I made money in this thing short in my trading room. Called it, just nailed it, okay? And got out at the proper time, too, and I'll go over it in a minute. So I made money shorting a bar that looks like this in the day. Now, how is that possible? Skill, and doing one thing and nothing else. That's what I do. Okay. I trade gaps, I do one thing, and I don't do anything else. And when you get to a point where you do that, when you're so precise and detailed and focused on your strategy and your play, you can actually make money even if something doesn't work correctly on the day, for whatever reason. And things sometimes just don't work for whatever reason. This is part of trading. And when you see that it's not working and you're in the trade and you're up money, you can't put a blindfold on and end up giving the trade back, okay, especially when you're up. And especially when you see that the chart is doing something that it shouldn't be doing, which I'll go over in a minute what happened with this. Anyways, I liked the gap this morning. It was perfectly fine. It was good. It was actually ran down here this morning a bit. 64.15 actually was the pre-market low. So it got under all this, and I liked it. By the time that it opened, though, okay, it opened 64.40. I was looking to try to find that number. This is where the number is. It actually just opened 1 penny under this bottoming tail here with the green head. It's the only significant thing that I can see that for some reason it decided to hold itself up with the day and be green. This bar is not in any position to, have any significance that would create this holding. But the fact is it did, at least for today. And now the way that this looks here, it's like a double bottom right here. That being said, I do think that this gap continues down and acts correctly later. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, who knows, okay? This is a watch for me to go lower because the target today was 63. Okay, that was the target. It was clear as day. It just didn't do it. So here was the play this morning in my room. Really know when things I know when things are perfect, and I know when they're not perfect, and I know I can see the pre-market. So when I see that something's not perfect, okay, I kind of say, hey, I have to wait. And to me, when I say I gotta wait, I'm talking like wait a minute, wait 5 minutes. It's so hard for me to wait in the morning. I like to get in right away on the open, but sometimes what are you gonna do? So here it's set up. Failed, never took the trade, didn't take it here. First of all, the stop was huge, so I knew that wasn't right. Second of all, this thing was trading like a banshee, like a bat out of hell. This thing was moving so fast, you can't tell by looking at it, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Watching these bars, the way they were moving in real time on the level 2, everybody saw it in the room, it was nuts, okay? You don't want to be in something that is going like this, like a wild man. And then, look what it did. Blew up here and had this big green bar. Okay, fine. This isn't a reverse swoosh. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, it is a reverse swoosh. Let me see. What's the thing on this? 64.40. Yeah, I just see that now. I didn't see that this morning. But as I'm looking at this now, this was a reverse swoosh. Interesting. Wow, look at that. I'll have to talk about that tomorrow in the room. Either way, it's fine. We got the entry, and as soon as it went up here to 40, okay, it's set up here, can't short it here because it just blew over the high of the day a second time with a big green bar, can't do anything. Then it goes over the high of the day. I was almost off of it. I almost looked at something else. I almost took my screen off of it, but as soon as it held 43 and did a topping tail, I said, take it, short it. There it is, right there. And there we were in it. We were all in it, and here was the ad. And then I thought about adding more here, but I would have had to put my stop right here over 65.10, and you know what? I didn't do it. I added here, and then I added here, but I could have added here, and I just didn't do it because you know what? This thing was trading wild. It makes tails. This Yum moves, and I would have had, in order to take a third ad, I would have had to lower the stop down here, and I just felt like I wanted to keep the stop up here, so that's what I did. But you know what? It when these things work, okay, they really should hold this tiny stops, and you know it did. I could have added right there and put the stop here, and it didn't do anything wrong, and would have gotten more of it. I mean, that's just. In the morning, these gaps, when they set up and trade, they do work perfectly. After they set themselves, and that time varies, okay, but it's always in the first 15 minutes of the day or 30 minutes of the day. Either way, I know when it's set, and it set itself right here in this bar. This was the set bar, okay? And the trigger bar, actually. So then it did this. Look, only went up to 65, did a penny. Of course, we're in it all the way up here, so this didn't have any significance to anyone. Down here, looking to break the low of the day here, looking to break 41, got so close. Touchdown in 41. Had given it this pivot here. I said, this is it. I can't stay in this over 72. And then look what happened. Boop. Right there. And then I was out. So, as it turns out, it was a great exit, okay, because it did not go lower. And then as the day goes on, I watched it for a second play, really was starting to like it at like later in the morning, like, you know, right in here. Said, okay, this thing is looking good right in here. It's looking like it's going to go lower right in here. It should hold, and it's starting to break, and then look what happened. Popped up here again. And then it was setting up again right in here. Looked beautiful right in here. Came down and actually triggered on a 60 and a 30-minute sell setup. And then all of a sudden, look what happened. Actually went over that area again of resistance one more time. Came back in, actually triggered on all the higher time frames, acted like it was ready to go, and for some reason, it bounced off of 55, did a double bottom, and look at what happened here with this. Now, I was way long gone out of this thing by the time it did it, but thank goodness that I knew then at some point that it wasn't going to work, okay, after it, I'll show you the 15-minute. But then what this did was just rally like this. I mean, this just rallied, and ended the day then, at that whole number. And we have to just watch it tomorrow. It may wiggle and jiggle until it goes red again, or it may go red tomorrow. Sometimes they do it the next day. Here's where I was re-watching it to just see if it would set up right in here, and it was looking like it was going to. And then all of a sudden it did this tail, and right here, there was no way. Then it was done, and of course, then look at what happened here. Whew, really. It's just unfortunate. I'm not sure why this wanted to hold that 40 number for some reason, but it did. And sometimes you just have to say, all right, hey, I got to move. I got a perfect entry on that. It's just absolutely perfect. Okay, I'm very good at my entries. And, nobody gets a better price in these things than me. I see it. When I see it, I see it, okay? And the same thing with the exit. Now, in the exit, it touched down. I could have gotten out of the exit as soon as it didn't go under and break under 41. Maybe I was making excuses for it, wanting to give it more time because of the way this thing trades, okay, knowing I was trying to give it room. But at the end of the day, it's just like everything else. There's no reason to make excuses for it. The thing should have broken the number down there, should have just ran it. It didn't. So I could have actually taken it off right after it didn't break 40 and just, boop, taken it. But I wanted to hold it, okay, at least to give it the pivot at 72 because the target on this was 63. And where I was in this, like 65, that 65.20 range, and then with the ad, it was a couple pennies under, but either way, it was a beautiful price. It would have been more than $2 down to 63, and just, wanted to give it a chance to work. But eventually you have to say, wait, okay, this shouldn't be doing this. And then luckily, I exited it and took the profits and then booked my morning. This is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. Thanks and have a great night.